Indeed, the continent of Africa is alive once again because the big boys are in Africa, and the race to Ivory Coast 2024 will be decided today across Africa. In Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be going for record purpose. They're already through to the championship, and it's a moment for us to celebrate. A total of 15 countries have already booked their place in next year's edition of the African Cup of Nations. More countries are expected today and tomorrow. Welcome on board on today's edition of the program, Talk Sport, right here on your #1 station, Global TV, in Nigeria's capital city of Abuja. We'll be going straight to South Africa. We're told that Bafana is on the list. Perhaps this time around, they will stroll to the championship, and our man, Mr. Armstrong, will be giving us updates on the situation about Bafana of South Africa and other sporting stories in that side of the continent of Africa. Let's take a break. When we come back, we go straight to Mr. Armstrong, standing by in faraway Johannesburg to give us updates on development of sporting activities in faraway South Africa. And Pius Idoko should be very, very close at the Gosling Akpabio International Stadium, where the Super Eagles will be taking on the team from Sao Tome and Principe. Don't go away. I am Clinton saying stay tuned on the program. Glad to have you back on the program, Talk Sport, right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. Wherever you are listening to this moment, it's time for us to take a look at the best of the English Professional Football League, the best of the Spanish La Liga. They are all in Africa, and it's time for us to smile and comfort, and why not celebrate. One man that we're celebrating this afternoon is Armstrong Ogoche, all the way from South Africa, joining us live this beautiful day on the program, Talk Sport. Mr. Armstrong, good afternoon, and hi, South Africa, this afternoon.
Thank you very much. I hope you're doing well. Talking about South Africa's Bafana, they continue to be a symbol of South Africa's love for football and its aspiration to compete at the highest level in international soccer. The team's journey and performance on the pitch continue to captivate the nations and the fans. But the spotlight is on another national team, talking about the South African rugby national team known as the Springbok. They are currently at the Rugby World Cup in France. I want to tell you that they are a very well-loved team, and they are poised to represent South Africa in this year's World Cup tournament. The South African rugby national team, the Springbok, is set to make a spirited run in the upcoming Rugby World Cup in France. Now, with a rich history and a legacy of success in the tournament, the Springboks are expected to be strong contenders, led by their formidable squad and experienced coaching staff. They aim to bring home another World Cup title. You know, sports is generally loved by South Africans, and this time there's talks all about most parents have bought t-shirts for their children in preparation to cheer the national team in this year's World Cup tournament. There are other news in sports generally coming from the SADC region, and I hope to update you.
Yes, Mr. Armstrong, let's look at, you talked about the Springboks being one strong game for South Africa. Just a few days ago, the World Cup, the Cricket World Cup, also stormed South Africa, talking about countries that are preparing for Indian that will be staging the World Cup. The Springboks and football work together. I remember in 2010 when South Africa played host to the World Cup, the stadium in South Africa was a stadium prepared originally for the cricketers, but it was also shared with football. So South Africa has made tremendous development since coming back from apartheid in football, in basketball, and this time we are talking about the Springbok. So tell me how colorful the streets in South Africa looks like ahead of this major trophy.
Well, the truth is that, like I said earlier in my preamble, from the schools, basically, students have been notified to adorn the national color.
The rainbow.
Most people are dressed in gold and green, and they'll be cheering for their national team. Basically, well, soccer is one of the most loved sports, but rugby resonates with most of the younger generation. I'm telling you, the country is abuzz, and all road leads to France. We are not there in France from this side, but we are all set to cheer the national rugby side, the Springboks, as they prepare. The spirit is high around here. All talks is about their preparation for this tournament. South Africa is a rugby nation, I must say. Talking about esports, esports is also one of those sports that is gaining grounds in the South African sporting landscape. The esport ecosystem is well advanced. Talking about the advancement of esports and development in Africa, the African continent as a whole. I want to say that having met a couple of the team officials a couple of weeks ago in Riyadh, where Nigeria equally posted a very good performance, I must say that Africa is getting there. And right now, South Africa is leading the pack in terms of esports program and esports development. And Nigeria is following suit with the current level of work that I have witnessed put in by the Nigerian Esports Federation. I want to believe that they know their story and they are all working. But South Africa, I must say, with the activities I have noticed going on here amongst the players and the officials of the esports, I want to believe that they are going to do great.
Armstrong, all the way from South Africa, giving us update on what looks like South Africa. Armstrong, I know you are Nigerian. Your focus will also be in South Nigeria, talking about the Uyo Township Stadium, where the Super Eagles of Nigeria, of course, in 2023, the Super Eagles of 2013, Super Eagles came to South Africa and became champions of of Africa, having defeated Burkina Faso by 1-0. Nigeria is doing everything possible to be in the next African Cup of Nations. And Uyo Township Stadium, named after the Senate President Godswill Akpabio Stadium, is the venue for this game. Your mind will be in Uyo too. Tell us how prepared and how spirited you are.
Well, all the best to the Nigerian Super Eagles this time around as they prepare and put their house in order. We all know, and everyone knows, that Nigerian Super Eagles, they are a soccer powerhouse when it comes to soccer in the continent of Africa. In recent times, though, there has been many issues that have befell the national team, the very loved Super Eagles of Nigeria. And I think that most of the big teams in Africa have had their own challenges as well. The Super Eagles, not different. But I think right now the Super Eagles can boast of very wonderful talents, you know, that apply their trades around the world. And we are very expectant. The talk, what I hear around here, is that Super Eagles is poised to once again lead the continent of Africa to shine on the world stage of soccer. So we wish them all the best, and we are looking you know, to see one of their best performance yet in this new generation, new crop of players that are currently representing the Nigerian national soccer team. Over to you, Mr. Clinton.
Armstrong, I wouldn't let you go. You are an international player. You've seen it all when it comes to baseball. And baseball will also be participating in Nigeria National Youth Games, which is coming up in Perhav in 2 weeks' time. Tell us a little about the development of base and softball in South Africa and compared to back home where you come from.
Once again, baseball in South Africa is better advanced, like than other countries in Africa. Baseball, though one of the very loved sport, is not as popular as soccer and rugby in South Africa yet. It is the most advanced baseball, playing countries in Africa currently. Then Nigeria is hosting the National Youth Games in Delta State in a couple of days. And we are happy to announce that baseball is officially part of the games. Whether or not the baseball fraternity in Nigeria is recognized does not really impact its development in the continent of Africa. Like in South Africa, where I am, where I retired as a player, I want to tell you that they are very well prepared for international championship, international competition. They are well supported by companies and the private entities here. In Nigeria, reverse is the case. We are still at a point where trying to find our footing, but the association have done the very best that they can. And I want to thank the new administration, especially the new minister, for the encouragement we've heard from him, encouraging every sporting organization, associations, and federation to put up their best. I want to believe that the National Youth Games will showcase the prowess of Nigerian youth, especially in the twin love sports of baseball and softball, which happens to be the American and Japanese pastime. Baseball is a wonderful sport, and I believe that as more youth embrace that sport, that they will find that there are many opportunities that are out there, and not just some of the major sports like soccer and basketball or athletics, but we should encourage our youth to diversify into other sports like baseball, like esports, and other lesser known sports, because someone like me, I'm a beneficiary of this kind of programs, and it has helped me a lot. It has exposed me to quite a lot of things. I encourage that we all support the Federal Ministry of Sports in their desire to develop our young athletes and budding sportsmen and women around the country.
Words of encouragement there to the new brown sport minister of Nigeria, talking about distinguished Senator John Onwan-Eno. Our guest all the way from South Africa has been our correspondent, talking about Mr. Armstrong Oguche, joining us live from South Africa. He is also a sport administrator, a man of God, if you want to ask me, and of course the leader, the team manager of the Esport Federation. Mr. Armstrong, I want to say a big thank you to you, and thank you very much for joining us all the way from South Africa. Let's go straight to you, where Pius Idoko is standing by to give us situation update on the readiness of the Super Eagles of Nigeria taking on their visitors. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll also tell you that Ghana is already through to the African Cup of Nations. The Black Stars made no mistake yesterday. And of course, our friend Deep will be telling us more from the camp of the Black Stars of Ghana. Don't go away. This is Talk Sport on Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. It's global sport and it's global television. Don't go away. Glad to have you back on the program. Talk Sport right here in Nigeria's capital city. Abuja is global television, and we are taking a look at happenings across the continent of Africa, where the best of professionals have come to Africa to ensure that their national team qualify for next year's edition of the African Cup of Nations in faraway Ivory Coast. A total of 15 teams have already qualified, including the Nigerian Super Eagles, and one man who is following the Super Eagles of Nigeria is our own man, Pius Idoko. Pius, how close are you to the Godswill Akpabio National Stadium? How close are you now in terms of distance?
Well, at the moment, I'm still in Enugu State, but I guess we're not so very far away from Akwa Ibom. Yeah, we're heading there. Of course, to some.
We hope we can get clear signals from Pius. From every indication, he's still on transit.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria. It's between. Yes, I'm actually on transit. I'm on transit right now. And like I said, it's about the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Falcons and yes, the Falcons and the True Parrots of Sao Tome and Principe. That game will be happening at the Akwa Ibom International Stadium tomorrow. So.
Yes, Pius, wanted to find out those members who are in that bus.
Of course, I know. Our own part to ensure that the Super Eagles win. All they need right now is just a point.
Yes, the Super Eagles need a point. Pius, tell us.
Hello, say that again, please.
Yes, of course, a point is done for the Super Eagles, and they will take us to the next stage of the World Cup. But what are the feelings like? We are told that fans trooped out yesterday to be part of the stadium. Do we expect a full house today? Or tomorrow, please? Idoko Pius is an in-house sport analyst with us here at Global TV. No thanks to that poor signal on his way to faraway Akwa Ibom, South Nigeria, where he will be giving us update tomorrow. But let's go to Ghana. We are told that the Black Stars of Ghana are through to the next edition of the African Cup of Nations. Our man who's standing by will be joining us. But let's tell you that results have already started trooping in, and we are glad to let you know that Malawi and Guinea played a 2-2 draw, while Mozambique and of course Benin Republic went into the action, but Mozambique at home defeated Benin Republic by 3-2. Matches are still going on right now. Just to let you know that Democratic Republic of Congo will be up against Sudan, and host country Ivory Coast fans will be standing up to watch the Elephants of Ivory Coast as they take on Lesotho. Mauritania will be up against Gabon, and the Comoros will be against the Chipolopolo. You remember them? Zambia national team. And of course, the Atlas Lions of Morocco will be home to take on Liberian national team. African champions, the Taranga Lions, will be in Dakar to take on Rwanda. That's a game we really want to see. How strong is the African champions? In Ghana, we've got our man in Ghana standing by to give us update on the situation. How is the Black Stars? Don't forget that the Black Stars of Ghana went to the FIFA World Cup in 2010 and made Africa proud. They have also qualified for next year's edition of the African Cup of Nations. Can we have question on the line from Ghana? Hello? Hello? It's Talk Sport right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. This is Global TV, and we are taking a look at happenings across the continent of Africa in the race to Ivory Coast 2024 African Cup of Nations, and a total of 15 countries have so far qualified for the race. Let's tell you that Group A, that has Nigeria national team topping the group, will be taking on the bottom place side, Sao Tome and Principe, and that game will be decided tomorrow. Irrespective of the outcome from the visitors, they cannot qualify for next year's African Cup of Nations because they are currently at the bottom with no point to show. Nigerian Super Eagles, 3 times African champions, are already through to the championship irrespective of the outcome. But a strong base Nigerian side has made sure that it has a full house with all professional players coming to emerge for record purpose because Nigeria is already through to the championship. The winner between the game between Sierra Leone and Guinea-Bissau will join Nigeria. Sierra Leone is still struggling even to qualify, but of course Guinea has a better chance with points, and so it looks like on paper Guinea could join Nigeria as the 2 teams that will make it to the next stage of the competition. A report reaching us in matches that are currently going on is Mauritania 3, Sudan 0. Ethiopia and Malawi are currently playing a goalless draw, while Burundi is currently celebrating a 3-2 win over the visitors from Namibia. Let's take a clear look at all the groups. Nigeria top Group A with a total of 12 points, closely followed with Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau, and Sao Tome and Principe is at the bottom with no point to show. Group B has Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso and Nigeria played the final in 2013, and the Super Eagles beat Burkina Faso by 1-0, and it was under the leadership of the coach, talking about the late coach of blessed memory, our own Stephen Kechi. Burkina Faso topped that group, closely followed by Cape Verde, Togo, and of course Brooker. And in Group C is Cameroon, who have done everything possible to bring back the one we call Onana of Manchester City to see if he can help the team, talking about Manchester United. The group has Kenya closely following Cameroon, Namibia, and Burundi. Cameroon and Kenya and Namibia can still qualify, talking about the 2 teams in this group, because Cameroon must win their game before they make it. The Pharaohs of Egypt, who played finals against Senegal in Cameroon but couldn't fail to win, are already through to the championship. The Pharaohs of Egypt top the group alongside Guinea, Malawi, and Ethiopia. A win for Ethiopia on tomorrow will make no progress for the Ethiopian national team. In Group E, Ghana Black Stars yesterday made no mistake as they qualified the defeated Central African Republic to book a ticket for the next stage of the competition. And of course, Ghana is through to the next stage of the competition. The group has Ghana, Madagascar, Angola, and Central African Republic. While in Group F, Algeria is standing tall in the group. Algeria stands tall, closely followed by Uganda, Niger, and Tanzania. Mali Eagles are the winning side for the group that has Mali, Congo, the Gambia, and South Africa. My man from South Africa who joined us from Johannesburg told us that it is not well with Bafana making it to the next stage of the African Cup of Nations. But let's wait and see if Bafana will be in Ivory Coast. Cote d'Ivoire is the host country, and they are in Group H. Cote d'Ivoire is already through by virtue that they are the one hosting the African Cup of Nations. The Chipolopolo of Zambia are currently leading the group behind host country Cote d'Ivoire. Comoros and Lesotho are in the group, so this group will produce just one to join Ivory Coast. And Democratic Republic of Congo is standing tall in Group I, closely followed by Gabon, Mauritania, and Sudan. Tanzania, it's in the news, but this time around it is Tunisia and Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea will be making history if they come back to the African Cup of Nations in 2024. The side from Equatorial Guinea is occupying the second position behind the Eagles of Tunisia, while Libya and Botswana occupy the third and fourth place respectively in Group I. And in Group K, it's Morocco. And Morocco will be playing host to Libya. Libya will travel to Morocco, while South Africa will take on Zimbabwe. It will be South African affair. And in Group L is defending champions, the Teranga Lions of Senegal. They'll be taking on Benin Republic in faraway Dakar, while Mozambique will welcome Burundi. Right here on Global TV, a man from Ghana is standing by. Let's take a break. When we come back, we go straight to Ghana because our Ghana man is standing by for today's edition of the program. Let's take a break and welcome the man from Ghana. We are in Ghana. This is Global TV. We go across Africa. We are number one when it comes to sport. Let's take you straight to Ghana. We are told that the streets of Accra and Kumasi and everywhere in Ghana, they're celebrating the victory of the Black Stars of Ghana going to the African Cup of Nations. Good afternoon, Mr. President of Esport. Tell us how Ghana is this afternoon.
Well, good afternoon to viewers and good afternoon to all of you. It's an exciting moment in Ghana.
Please, can you up your voice? Yeah, can you up your voice a little volume so that we can get the best sound from Ghana?
All right, so good afternoon, everyone listening to us right now from Ghana. My name is Igor from Ghana Sport Federation, and thanks for this opportunity. As I'm speaking to you guys right now, it's so exciting in Ghana. The whole country is on fire. Everybody's happy to see Ghana qualify to the next African Cup of the Nation. We are so excited. The whole street is so full of people with joy, sir. Everybody can see, can't wait to see Ghana in the next African Cup of the Nations. So the country is so happy and everybody's so excited. Everybody's so excited.
I know the excitement in Ghana this afternoon is so much to talk about because Ghana and Nigeria both were sent packing in the group stage of the last edition of the African Cup of Nations in faraway Cameroon. I'm talking about in the knockout stage, Ghana and Nigeria left the competition unceremoniously. But this qualifier now is a big one for Ghana. The Black Stars are through. Can you tell us what's the message from the fans to the Black Stars?
Well, the message for the fans of the Black Stars is they are solid support the Black Stars. They are behind the Black Stars of Ghana. Black Stars of Ghana is national asset. No matter what they go, we have to support them. The fans are saying this time around, having disappointed us. The fans are saying this time around, you have made us again proud. So therefore, we are going to be behind till they come back to Ghana next year. So the fans are so excited and they can't wait to see Ghana in the next African competition.
Ghana has a wonderful celebration in African soil in 2010 FIFA World Cup. We hope that the Black Stars will bounce back in their winning side when we all assemble in Ivory Coast for next year's edition of the African Cup of Nations. But away from the Black Stars, let's come to the Black Stars of Esport. You are the president of Ghana Esport Federation. Tell us how prepared Ghana is in terms of the development of esport in faraway Ghana. How is that situation?
Well, Ghana Esport set up its own challenges, and I think it's every country that will come forward in terms of Ghana, in terms of this sport activity. They make certain things in your own community, your own house, and your own country. But at the end of the day, what you have to do is the mission purpose we need to the channel Ghana Esport is currently passing through some one of the things like current moment that we don't want to explain right now. At the end of the day, we'll show you what come out of material. Ghana Esport is not only for Ghana, but it's for Africa. And we believe that together when we can make success together in Africa when it comes to esport. So Ghana Esport is doing so well. We are taking things one at a time. We are very out there like the way we are seeing others. And I believe very soon here's something positive for Ghana Esport.
For the Black Stars of Ghana, I want to say a big thank you to you for joining us all the way from Ghana. We sincerely apologize for that a little poor qualities. We hope that when we have clean signals, we'll be able to take you straight to Ghana. But let's tell you the results that are reaching us across the continent of Africa, because we are Global TV, and it is our duty across Africa to give you latest report. Sudan and Mauritania game has ended with 3 goals in favor of the host side, talking about Mauritania. And Libya and Equatorial Guinea are currently playing 1-1 draw. We told you yesterday that Black Stars made no mistake to defeat Central Africa by 2-1 to qualify. Angola and Madagascar are still playing a goalless situation, while Tanzania have made no mistake to beat Botswana by 1-2-3. So 3 goals in favor of Tanzania and nothing for the visitors. It was also a good winning side for Mauritania, who defeated Sudan by 3 goals to nothing. Ethiopia and Malawi ended for a goalless draw, and Burundi and Namibia game ended with 5 goals scored. Host side took 3, and the visitor Burundi took 2-1. Let's go straight to Uyo, the Township Stadium, talking about the venue where the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be taking on Sao Tome and Principe. All road leads to Dr. Godswill Akpabio Stadium in the South Nigeria, where 3 times African champions, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who are already through to the next edition of the African Cup of Nations, will be, for record purpose, taking on Sao Tome and Principe. On paper, irrespective of the outcome of that game, Sao Tome cannot qualify for the African Cup of Nations because they are currently sitting bottom of the group and nothing to show. The next team that will join Nigeria as runners-up will be the game between Equatorial Guinea and Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, talking about Freetown, it was where they recorded their 2nd win, hoping that they will qualify for the African Cup of Nations. Let's take a break. Our last break will take you straight to the main bowl of the Uyo Township Stadium. Pius Idoko will be joining us, and Pehava, the president of the Sport Writers Association of Nigeria, will be telling us details concerning the visitors who are presently having the feel of what it takes to participate in the African Cup of Nations at such a beautiful stadium named after the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Dr. Godswill Akpabio Stadium is the venue. Don't go away. This is Global TV, and we're talking sports. Day right here in Nigeria's capital city of Abuja. It's Global TV, and we are talking sport. We are glad in Africa because the best of African footballers have honored their invitation to participate in the qualifier race for 2024 African Cup of Nations. We are told that Nigeria has a full house, invited by a coach whose contract has another extension for him to stay in Nigeria in the next 6 months, and perhaps that will cover the African Cup of Nations. One of of those clauses that include for the new coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, not talking about the new coach for his new contract, is to ensure that Nigeria wins the African Cup of Nations. That's the mandate given to him by the nation's football governing body, the NFF. Let's still tell you that players' matches that will be decided tomorrow, and talking about the ongoing African Cup of Nations qualifiers, there will be plenty of matches that will be decided tomorrow, which includes the game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and of course there will be Cameroon also in action, where one man has joined them, talking about Andre Onana has said to talk with Cameroon national side. Pius Idoko is still trying to join us on today's edition of the program to give us situation report as far as all it's concerned. But let's give you certain teams that are already through in the championship. Ghana is done. They are already gone into the championship. Egypt has also joined them to the championship. Algeria is also through. Mali is also through. And of course, host Ivory Coast. In Group A, Nigerian Super Eagles are already through to the African Cup of Nations, including the Eagles of Tunisia. Tunisia Eagles made no mistake yesterday to make history as one of those teams. Defending champions, the Senegal national team, the one we call the Taranga Lions, are also through to the championship. Talking about next year's edition of the African Cup of Nations, which will be staged between January and February. Namibia is also through to the next stage of the competition, including 2013 runners-up Burkina Faso, who lost to Nigeria in the African Cup of Nations. Let's tell you, in all, Nigeria has played a total of 5 matches, and the Super Eagles of Nigeria have scored played 5 matches, won 4, and just lost 1. Guinea on their own side too have played 5 matches, won 3, draw 1, and suffered 1 defeat. Sierra Leone have also played 5 matches. They can only talk about 1 win in all the 5 matches. They played 2 draw, and of course went home with their head down. Sao Tome and Principe have played a total of 5 matches. Tomorrow will be their number 6 match. They have no win in 5 matches, but went on with just 1 point in 1 draw. They are currently occupying the bottom place of the ongoing championship. Burkina Faso in Group A, and Group B, I beg your pardon, have played 6 matches. Of course, I told you they're already through. And they have played 6 matches. They won 3, played 2 draw, and lost 1. Cape Verde played 5 matches, won 3, drew 1, and lost 1. And in all, they scored 6 goals. While Togo played 5, went home with 1 win, have a 2 draw, and 2 defeats. And in Group C, it's Namibia, who currently stand on the top of the table with a total of 6 points. Namibia has played 4 matches, and of course they have 1 win, suffered 2 defeat, and 1 draw. Burundi played 3, have 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 defeat, experiencing all the various categories of result in football, which include win, draw, and lose. Ghana Black Stars are still celebrating because Group E has finally completed all their matches. And so the 2 teams that have made it into the next stage of the competition have been made known. The Black Stars of Ghana played 6 matches. They won 3 matches, drew 3, and suffered no defeat. Ghana has a total of 8 points. Angola is in that group, managed to win 2 and lost 3, and at the end of the day they got 6 points, but it's too small. 6 points is too small for Angola, and it was Central African Republic who made it to the next stage of the competition. And so talking about, let's take it to Group F, where Algeria is already through with 9 points. This group has Algeria, Tanzania, Uganda, and Niger. And topping the group is Algeria with 9 points. They played a total of 6 matches, won 5, and just have 1 draw. Tanzania managed to occupy the 3rd place with 6 points. 3 points, I beg your pardon. Haven't played 6 matches. They've got 2 wins and 2 draws. Uganda has played 6 matches. They suffered defeat twice won one game and lost 3, while Niger is also in that group but made no significant. Mali Eagles are through to the next stage of the competition. This afternoon, they defeated their opponent and they are through to the championship. Mali has a total of 13 points from 5 matches. Gambia has no point from 3 matches, as well as Angola. And in Group H, we have Ivory Coast through to the championship. Still struggling to see how we can get our man Pius Idoko, who is still on transit to Uyo to witness and give us first-hand information concerning the Super Eagles of Nigeria. By FIFA rule, it is the duty of the visitors to have a feel of what it takes to play at the green of the Godswill Akpabio National Stadium in Uyo Township, city of Akwa Ibom. And let's say a big thank you to all of you for finding time to join us on today's edition of the program. I want to say a big thank you to our man talking about Mr. Armstrong, who joined us all the way from South Africa. He told us that the guys in South Africa, the rugby guys, the Springboks are getting set. So we are also getting set in faraway Uyo. We told you that the Black Stars of Ghana are already through to the next stage of the edition of the African Cup of Nations. That is Ivory Coast 2014. That's the size of today's edition of the program Talk Sport on Global TV right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. On behalf of the management of Global TV, we wish our dear Super Eagles the best of luck tomorrow as they take on Sao Tome and Principe at the Godswill Akpabio National Stadium, Uyo. Until then, do have a wonderful sporting weekend ahead of you.